What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Jacques from Tennessee Titans Weekly, and I'm again flying solo. So shout out to my cohort Hulk, who is handling some business. So he's doing his thing. So I'm gonna fill us in this week, and we're gonna talk Titans, man. So I'm excited to be here. Shout out to Bleacher Report and everything. So, um, again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm just gonna dive in it like Trey Songz says. So we know a bit of Titans news that has stuck out to us is Brian Callahan is starting to hire him and Rand are starting to hire their particular coaches, and they're putting the pieces together and getting everything ready for the season. So we've hired our offensive coordinator. We've also hired our defensive coordinator. We've also hired our offensive line coach. I think we've hired also our wide receivers coach as well, and so on and so on. So we're going to get into this and talk about it, man. So, real quick, I do have polls out there to discuss which hires you like best, which coaching hires are concerning to you, and also how do you feel? Are you excited? How do you which coaching hire is exciting? Which was getting you geeked up and getting you amped, and then how you feel of overall how Brian Callahan is doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick this thing off. We're gonna talk about the coaches first. So it's coming in at number one. He hired Denard Wilson, defensive coordinator. I mean, he was the DB coach for the Ravens. And I know a lot of people had issue with this particular, well, not issue. Let me take it back. Let me reel it back. I don't think people had issues with this hire. I think it's some of the uncertainty, but I love this hire because he comes from a winning pedigree. He comes from a winning stock. He was the DB. He was the Eagles DB coach, and now he was the Ravens DB coach. And I think the Ravens finished top five in turnovers in the secondary. So that tells me that he knows what he's doing. Also, he has worked under I think Todd Bowles, and I think he mentioned another individual that has showed him the way of how to coach defenses. So again, Rand is cooking. Brian, I haven't come up with a cool little thing for him yet, but he's cooking too. And so I see the collaboration there of trying to get a winning product here in Tennessee on the coaching staff. So that is a hell of a hire. They're knocking it out the park. When I've heard that, that really got me geeked up and excited. And the thing is, we don't know what scheme we're going to run. The Titans have been running a 3-4 for the past 6 years, right? Probably even longer than that. So it could be a possibility we switch to a 4-3, which is the most simplest base defense, but you don't have the personnel to run the 3-4. Now, if you've played high school ball, if you played regular football, if you've played in college, 4-3 is a very simple defense to learn. It's not hard. 3-4, I think you have a lot more thinking, and then you have your ends bouncing in the linebacker positions and bouncing in the coverage. So shout out to them on that. Next, I'm gonna get to the defensive back coaches. We've hired Steven Jackson, and I think Steven Jackson, I think, was with the Titans at one point in time. So it's going to be an interesting hire from a secondary standpoint. We're going to see how that goes. We also hired Frank Bush, the linebackers coach, which I think he did coach for the Titans at one point in time. So that's an interesting hire, to say the least, which I don't understand that hire. But hey, we're here, right? If they're going to keep going that route, man, go ahead and get Delaney Walker in here for the tight ends coach. That'll be pretty solid. I think, and we got Tyke Tolbert. He's the wide receivers coach, so he's hired him. And then all these three players have some type of relationship or connection string to either Rand or Brian Callahan, and they all come from good stock as well. I think the biggest hire out of this whole thing was Brian hiring his father. Well, pulling his father from Cleveland. Let me say that, but he still hired him. It's just Bill Callahan. All right, we know the pedigree of Bill Callahan. We know his coaching pedigree is amazing. He's coming in, he's coaching the offensive line. Amazing, right? He's done an amazing job with the Cleveland Browns. And he's gotten that unit to be one of the top units in the league, right? He's gotten those C players to play at a B level. He's gotten those B level players that was at a B level to play at an A level, right? So what this also does with this hiring, and it's just a theory that I have, you don't per se have to go out and draft that left tackle at the seventh spot in the draft. And I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying, but it gives you great options, right? It gives you hella options to sit there and say, okay, hey, we have flexibility to go out and actually get a playmaker receiver, maybe Malik Neighbors. I'm just throwing it out there. Or if you want to go up and get your guy, if you want to move down in the draft, you can, right? The Senior Bowl just took place, so that was pretty solid. But when I look at this hire, that tells me that Bill's coming in. They see that offensive line that we have might have potential. Now I know that's me talking crazy. I know I might get a lot of slack for that, but there is potential in this offensive line to where if you coach these guys up, you might can get something out of them. A la a Dylan Radins, Peter Skoronsky, that's going to only make him better. Nicholas Petit Ferrer, Jalen Duncan. Just look for that, people, because it's like I said, this gives you flexibility to kind of go and figure out where you want to go when it comes to drafting. So that's Bill Callahan. Then we got Nick Holz, the offensive coordinator. So we finally got an OC. He fired his OC. I think Nick was he was with the Jags last year. last year, excuse me. He was with the Jags last year, and this is a hire that's interesting because he has a direct connection to Brian. I think they were high school coaches together or something in that standpoint. So this hire really is intriguing because of the fact that there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of we don't know who this guy is, but there is a caveat to this. Brian's gonna be calling plays. Nick is not, from what I've heard. So if Brian's calling the plays, I'm guessing Nick will be in that advisor role, that getting the players ready for the games, getting them prepared, getting them set up, and everything like that. So if I'm assuming, I'm just using this as an assumption, I think that's what is going to happen. So that's going to be an interesting thing to say the least, because of the fact that we are going in that direction with the offensive coordinator. I thought we were going to go after the guy from Carolina. He was the OC for Carolina, but we went in a different direction. So it's very, 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 very interesting. So those are some of the coaching hires that of today, of what we heard. I think we still need tight ends. We still need a couple of hires that need to be done. But I said for the tight ends, give Delaney Walker a shot. Titans, if you're hearing this, I would say give Delaney a shot, man. So he might want to start coaching. He's a really great to good a good to great tight end with the Titans, and he can really provide some insight. So yeah. So my next segment I want to get into is which coaching hire concerns me as a Titans fan and as a Titans analyst, as a Titans media member. All that. Let me be honest with you guys and ladies. The offensive coordinator hire really is concerning in the fact that I don't know too much about Nick, and I don't know how his preparation would be from day to day. I don't know how he'll get these guys prepared. That's really what concerns me. I would have rather had a little bit of more of a splash when it came to the offensive coordinator position, but I understand you get what you get, right? They've done a decent job. You get what you get. So again, shout out to them. The position that the coach that I'm most excited about, and I know this is probably everybody's pick, is probably going to be the offensive line coach. It's kind of unique to say we're excited about an offensive line coach. That is just so freaking weird. But I'm excited for it because we haven't had a good offensive line coach in here since Mike Munchak. Mike Munchak. I want to say Mike Munchak, and that was somebody else that was pretty solid before the other gentlemen came in. But Mike Munchak, man, he was amazing. And I think Bruce Matthews was here. I think he did a little bit of work too. But literally, you have a proven commodity that can come in and coach these young men up and get them to their playing potential. Again, Peter Skoronsky, to me, he did pretty decent this year. I like Peter, man. And he's a rookie. You're going to make mistakes. You're learning the game. But take that leap from year one to year two, you need all the coaching that you can get, and they're going to learn. Andre Dillard is the biggest question mark. I'm like, can he even learn anything? But I'm not knocking the brother, so maybe he can, right? Maybe I'm not saying he can't, but maybe he can. So I think that's the one coaching hire that I'm super excited for. I didn't think they were going to be able to pull it off, but they pulled it off. So shout out to Rand and Callahan for that, man. They are really, really cooking. Um, Also, I'm going to grade Brian so far when it comes to these hires. So far, him and Rand. I mean, I'm a group them. Let me say this. I'm gonna group Rand because it's a collaboration effort. I'm gonna group Rand and Brian into this collaboration circle. And so far, in my opinion, they get a B plus for the hires that they've been able to bring in so far. Um, and I think the reason why I'm giving them a B plus and I'm knocking them down is because of the OC hire. We don't know too much about Nick. Now, again, he's not calling plays, which is a good thing, right? Because we don't know if he can call plays, and I'm not knocking him. But in the same breath, is did you hire him because he's your friend, or did you hire him because he's qualified to do the job? I think that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, and my biggest question when it comes to these questions. So, yeah. So, my favorite part of the show, I'm gonna get into the chop up, and I see we got is it Slick 22? He says, "How do you feel about drafting a top tier receiver at number 7, and then at 39 drafting a tackle, and then addressing the tackle and free agency also?" You know what? I love the idea, bro. And I don't know if you've been watching the show, I don't know if you came in late, but I just said it earlier. The flexibility of hiring Bill Callahan to come in and coach the offensive line, that gives us the flexibility to do that. And at that point, I can kind of maneuver my draft board and say, okay, hey, we got him. We're banking on him to teach the guys that we already have to say, hey, all right, we got talent. Y'all just need to be coached up. Again, we're not in these rooms. We don't know what Rand and them see in these particular gentlemen that we've seen on the field. On the field, we've seen the product they trash. But to them, they might see that's fool's gold, right? They're like, hey, we can do something with them. So I agree. Now, at number 7, man, if Marvin Harrison Jr. falls, which I doubt he will, take him. If Malik Neighbors is there, I'm scooping him up like a scoop of ice cream. My guy, yes. 39, yes, we're drafting a tackle. Matter of fact, the Senior Bowl just passed, and there was a couple of tackles in there that was actually doing pretty decent. So you do have options. This draft is pretty solid with tackles and offensive line talent, right? And I like that. I like that, bro. Keon or Neighbors. Hey, either one, right? Either one. If you see if that number 7 pick, whatever provides that value in your scheme, because we still don't know what scheme Brian's gonna run. That's the biggest thing, and it's the biggest question mark right now is what scheme is he gonna run? We don't know. So yes, I love the idea, man. Actually, that is my dream scenario right here. Is we draft get a playmaker. After we get our playmaker, go to 39, get a tackle, and then bring in some depth for free agency, right? Get you a veteran in here, somebody that can come in that's been proven or whatnot. You don't have to break the bank on him. You can get him a 1 to 2 year deal, especially if he's in his 30s or whatnot. And just, hey, here we go. We're going to rock with what we got, and then we're going to just build it from there. Because, again, Bill Callahan has been able to do what he's doing and do what he has done in Cleveland. I have faith that he can come over here and do the same thing in Tennessee. So, man, great question, bro. Appreciate your participation in the show, man. Let me see. And we do got poll questions out there, ladies and gentlemen. So if y'all want to go ahead and answer those, y'all do have that option. I appreciate it. And again, I'm flying solo today. So if you don't know me, I'm Jacques from Tennessee Titans Weekly. My cohort is handling some business, so he's doing his thing. So shout out to you, Hawk, if you're watching the show. Really appreciate it. I'll probably go one more question and then we'll get up out of here. So throw that question in the chat. And I think like I said, the Senior Bowl just passed, so I didn't get to watch it, but I'm going to do some homework probably when I get some free time just to go over and see some of my favorite players that's come out the Senior Bowl. There's a kid from Toledo. He's a DB. That joker, he's rising on my draft board, but I doubt he'll be there in the 3rd round. I don't even think he's going to make it out the 2nd round. That kid is right. He's amazing. Let me see. How you feel about Derrick Henry's future? Man, I would love to bring Derrick Henry back, man. I feel like he wants a fresh start though. He's trying to get a Super Bowl, and I think with him, the Titans are in a rebuild mode, and I feel with him, he's trying to get that taste out of his mouth of, hey, I just fired my old coach. I got somebody else coming in here, so I think for him, I think he wants a Super Bowl and he's going to try to contend for a contender. I don't count out the reunion. I don't count that out at all. So I think he will. You could possibility that he can come back, but I just think he wants a Super Bowl, man. He wants to he wants to play for a contender. So I can see him, man, probably the Cowboys. The Ravens would be a good fit for him. And hell, even the Eagles, if the Eagles want to scoop him up, they can scoop him up as well. So yeah, man, great question, bro. Great question. Great question. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning into the show, please check out the poll questions. Let us know how you feel about the coaching hires that we have so far. And do you guys feel like he's doing a good job, man? Again, shout out to Rand and Brian, man, for doing their thing. They're cooking. They're cooking, and the collaboration is this shows you how important collaboration is in just anything in life, right? If you can't move, if you trying to move as one, and I got something over here that I'm trying to get done, if we can come together, let's come together, man. So most definitely, I'll take one more question and I'm gonna get up out of here. Let me see here. Appreciate the questions, man. Really do. Really do. And if you don't know who I am, again, I'm Jacques from Tennessee Titans Weekly. So appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see if there was one more question. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and close it out, man. Again, appreciate everyone watching the show. If you haven't, man, follow us on our social media handles. We're on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're also on Twitter, or excuse me, formerly Twitter, X, at Titans 24/7. And then we're on Spotify, YouTube. YouTube, if you follow us on YouTube, it's Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Apple. We're everywhere that you can get your podcast. We're there. And also, when you do subscribe to those particular platforms, please like and share the video out, man. Get us out there in the contact. And again, I want to thank Bleacher Report for, of course, always giving us this opportunity to bring Titans content and to vibe with y'all. And then we'll go from there. Oh, let me see. I got one more. I got to answer this question. I see you, bro. Hey, it's still 22 coming through. He says, what's the key factors to us getting back? Man, I'm going to say this. And then I get up out of here. I promise y'all. That's a great question. One, we are doing step one, or task one. Let me say that. Task one, building out our coaching staff. That's the first most important thing, is getting the coaching staff together. Two, coming up with a philosophy. Like, what's our philosophy? What's our culture? What's our schemes? Where we're going to take it from there. Three, free agency. We got to attack free agency aggressively because we do have the money to do it. So you need to bring in and attract free agents that's going to come in here and have immediate impacts day one. T. Higgins, Jalen Johnson. Hell, I heard Chris Jones is a free agent. You might want to look at bringing him in on 1 or 2. You got to get this team, especially on offense, back up to where we're competing. Then what am I on? 4? After 4, we got to come in healthy. We got to, and what I mean by, well, no, take it back. We got to get to the draft. The draft, I think, is the most important thing. We got to hit on number 7, and the picks that we have to hit. So that's another thing. Hit on the draft. Figure out what you're going to bring in. You can't go wrong at 7 with a receiver or a tackle. And 39, you can't go wrong with a receiver or a tackle. So after that, man, once you've established the baseline, take it slow. I know people want to rush it fast. What I mean by take it slow, take it one game at a time. Let's figure this thing out, because we have to have some patience, man. This year, if we win 9, let me say this. If we win 10, I say 9 to 10 games, man, that is overachieving, in my opinion. I know we did it this year, but that is overachieving. And if the offense looks complete and looks like an offense, to me, that's a positive direction. If we come out looking like we did, then we got a problem, right? But it's going to take time for us to build this thing up and get this thing going. So, man, great question. That's a question I'm gonna pin, and actually we probably go deeper in on another show. So again, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all watching the show. And I'm Jacques from Tennessee Titans Weekly. And y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Good luck on the Super Bowl this weekend. Be safe. And hey, let's get to talk Titans football. I'm out. Peace.